Bernini was without any doubt the best artist of his era. Paintings, sculptures, fountains, tombs, churches, and even the Piazza San Pietro. He did it all. Even now, more than 400 years later, his work still amaze thousands of visitors of Rome. His character, however, was less than flawless. He belittled his assistants. He took credit for work done by others and had no respect for law, rules, or common people. Things were never worse than when Bernini was about 38 years old. It got so bad that his own mother wrote a letter to Pope Urban VIII in which she begged him to straighten out her son, who had just tried to kill his own brother. What happened? Around 1637, Bernini was working on several projects in the St. Peter. There was the tomb to be made for the Barberini Pope that he wanted to be completed before his death. There was the immense baldacchino that needed lots of attention. And in the four pillars supporting the dome made by Michelangelo, Bernini and his assistants were carving out four statues of saints, each 5 meters high. Yes, Bernini was very busy, but not too busy to have an affair with a married woman, no less, the wife of one of his many assistants. The lady in question is Costanza Piccolomini Bonarelli. And whether Bernini was married with her or not, he must have loved her deeply. He even made this bust of her for his own palazzo. She came from a family that had produced two popes some 100 years earlier, but the family was impoverished. So Costanza married a craftsman who was working as a stonecutter and sculptor for Bernini. The affair between the two came out in the open after Bernini started to suspect his mistress might have another lover on the side. He decides to have her followed by his valet. It was discovered she was also sleeping with another secret lover, a certain Luigi Bernini. Yes, indeed, Constanza was also in bed with Gianlorenzo's brother. Bernini is outraged and decides to kill his brother. When he confronts him, he has an iron bar in his hand. Luigi runs into the Santa Maria Maggiore. But even in this, their Bernini family church, Gianlorenzo doesn't hold back and hits his brother with that iron bar, breaking two of his ribs. In church, a priest tries to stop the fight, and he gets badly hurt. Bernini stabbed this priest in the leg with his sword. Fortunately for Luigi, this gives him the chance to escape. After this fight, Bernini orders one of his servants to slice the face of Costanza with a razor. This was not an uncommon practice when a husband found out his wife was cheating on him. But Bernini wasn't even married to Costanza. Now, normally, this deed, plus the stabbing of a priest in church, would buy you a long, long time in jail, but not Bernini. He knew the Pope needed him in the St. Peter. He knew he was protected by the Pope, but the Pope wasn't happy with the situation. To end this unholy affair, the Pope more or less forces Bernini to get married. In the meantime, Luigi has left Rome, expelled by the Pope. Bernini's valet and Constanza spent quite some time in prison. Bernini himself sleeps in his own bed and remains working in the St. Peter. After Bernini finally gets married, he was relatively happy with his wife, and together they would produce 11 children. However, Bernini must still have had strong feelings for his mistress, because he kept Costanza's bust in his palazzo for over 10 years. One can only imagine how that must have been for the new Mrs. Bernini. There was even a painting from him and Costanza together that never left his palazzo and was only cut up after his death. Around 1650, Bernini had worked for 4 popes and the kings of France and England, but he was always looking to find more influential patrons. Hoping to get a commission from the Medici family, he gave the bust of Costanza as a gift to Cardinal Giovanni Carlo de' Medici, who was the brother of the Grand Duke of Florence, Ferdinando II. He gladly accepted it into the ever-growing art collection of the family. 3 years after Pope Urban VIII died, Bernini finishes the magnificent tomb that can be found in the St. Peter. We find the Pope in bronze, on a throne, and at his feet, on the left side of the tomb, there you will find Costanza in marble as the allegory of justice. Carrying a baby, we can, without any doubt, claim it is most certainly carved by Gianlorenzo Bernini himself. I guess he never stopped loving her.